stop what you're doing because what's about to hit the United States over the next 7 days is going to be one of the most chaotic stretches of weather we've seen all winter. We're not talking about one storm. We're talking about a parade of winter storms that are going to grow stronger and more dangerous as the week goes on, dumping significant snow across a massive chunk of the country. And if that wasn't enough, a wild temperature roller coaster is setting up for early March that could flip the switch on severe weather season almost overnight. The next 2 weeks are going to be absolutely relentless. So let me walk you through everything that's coming. Let's start with the jet stream, because that's the engine driving all of this madness. Right now, we still have a deep plunge in the jet stream parked along the East Coast, and that's keeping temperatures well below average across the Northeast. Riding along that dip, we've got these Alberta clippers firing one after another like rounds from a machine gun, and they're going to keep delivering snow to places like New England today and potentially right through the weekend. These clippers individually aren't massive storms, but they're persistent, and that persistence is what's going to keep the snow piling up day after day. By Thursday and Friday, a separate storm system is going to spin up across the Ohio Valley. Now, this one doesn't look like it's going to be a blockbuster, but it's still going to squeeze out some additional snowfall across the Ohio Valley and Mid-Atlantic. There's even a chance we could see some isolated, strong to severe thunderstorms firing along the East Coast on the warm side of this system. So even in late February, we can't completely rule out some thunder mixed in with all this winter weather. But here's where I need you to really pay attention, because Friday and Saturday is when this pattern takes a dramatic turn. A high-pressure system is going to build across the far southern plains, while simultaneously another surface high develops over the Midwest. What's fascinating about this setup is that moisture is going to get squeezed between these two high-pressure systems, creating a narrow corridor where we could see an ugly mix of freezing rain, ice accumulation, heavy snow, and even some plain rain. This is the setup for what could become a truly significant winter storm this weekend, and it's targeting the Central Plains, Midwest, Ohio Valley, and eventually the Northeast. And then we cross into March, and the whole game changes. The snow zone is going to remain active across the Midwest, Ohio Valley, and Northeast, but we're also expecting large storm systems to start rolling off the Rockies again. And when that happens, you know what comes with it: severe weather. I genuinely believe we're going to see some legitimate shots of severe weather during the first 2 weeks of March. So if you're in the Great Plains or the Southeast, it's time to start thinking about your severe weather preparedness, because the season is about to kick into gear. Now let me take you through the day-by-day breakdown, because the details matter here. Right now, a sizable low-pressure system is sitting just north of the Great Lakes. This is our latest Alberta clipper, and it's going to track across the Northeast throughout the day. There's a broad area of light to moderate snowfall stretching from Indiana and Ohio through West Virginia and into central and southern New England. Now, this is nothing like that historic nor'easter we just experienced. Snowfall rates are going to hover around ½ an inch to maybe an inch per hour, and the snow showers will be fairly scattered throughout the day. Manageable, but still adding to what's already on the ground. Meanwhile, out west, a significant atmospheric river event is developing across the Pacific Northwest. Some of that moisture is going to get carried inland, and by late tonight into early tomorrow, it'll start spreading light snow across the Central Plains and Midwest. Places like Des Moines, Springfield, Illinois, and Indianapolis could see some flurries and light accumulation late Wednesday into early Thursday. This moisture eventually feeds into a slightly larger storm system on Thursday, though I want to be clear, the severe weather threat with this one has definitely come down. It doesn't look like anything major on either the severe weather or snowfall front. There could be some strong storms across the southeast, but the snow component will be the bigger story Thursday afternoon. Areas like Maryland, Washington, D.C., West Virginia, and eventually central and southern New Jersey, Long Island, and the tip of southern New England could see some light snow late Thursday into early Friday. But again, this is not the main event. This is just the opening act. The headliner arrives this this weekend, and models have been consistently trending upward with this one. Late Friday night, yet another Alberta clipper is expected to pass near the United States, potentially bringing additional snow to the northeast. But that's just the appetizer. The real show starts Saturday night into Sunday. Here's how it unfolds. A very powerful high-pressure system is going to develop across the northern plains and Midwest, and this is the vehicle that's going to deliver another round of Arctic air into the country. But on the southern side of this high, moisture is going to start pooling and expanding. It's going to be cold enough on the north side for snow, and initially Saturday night into early Sunday, it won't look like much. But watch what happens. By Sunday morning, an elongated band of moisture will stretch from Nebraska all the way back into the northeast, with periods of light snowfall. And then Sunday afternoon into the evening is when this thing explodes. Moisture from the Pacific is going to get pulled into the system, and as that high pressure shifts eastward, it creates rising motion that supercharges precipitation development. Suddenly, we're looking at a legitimate winter storm with a large band of heavy snowfall stretching from Nebraska through Indiana and Ohio and right into Chicago. In the middle of that band, near cities like St. Louis and Kansas City, there could be a nasty mix of freezing rain and sleet that makes travel absolutely treacherous. Now, I want to be honest with you. We're still about 4 or 5 days out from this event, and things can absolutely shift. But what's giving me confidence is that multiple model runs have been consistently pointing toward a significant winter storm this weekend. The GFS has been particularly aggressive, showing widespread snowfall totals that could exceed a foot in some locations. The European model has been more conservative, showing maybe 3 to 6 inches, but even the European model is now starting to pick up on the heavier precipitation and freezing rain potential across the Midwest, Ohio Valley, and Northeast. And remember, this is the same European model that didn't even catch the recent nor'easter until about a day before it hit. The fact that it's already showing signals for this weekend storm days in advance tells me there's real potential here. By late Sunday into Monday, the snow threat continues to expand from Nebraska into New York. Freezing rain and sleet could stretch from Kansas City all the way into West Virginia. And then Monday morning, this storm pushes into the Northeast. I honestly can't believe I'm saying this, but the Northeast, which has already been absolutely pummeled this winter, is very likely looking at another significant winter weather event. We could be talking about 6 to 12 plus inches of snow in some spots, as moderate to heavy snow continues to fall underneath that Arctic high. Tuesday brings the tail end of this storm as it finally exits, but the GFS is already hinting at another system forming by Tuesday into Wednesday right behind it. Now, obviously at 7+ days out, confidence drops significantly, and it's really difficult to pin down specific details that far in advance. But the overall pattern strongly suggests we're going to see continued troughing develop along the West Coast, and that's the kind of setup that opens the door for severe weather events across the Great Plains and Southeast. March is shaping up to be an incredibly active month for severe storms, and confidence in that outlook is growing by the day. Now I want to show you the potential snow and ice corridors for this weekend into early next week, but I need to put a big disclaimer on this. These numbers are very preliminary, and the forecast will absolutely continue to evolve. But the general target zone stretches from western Iowa all the way back into southern New England. There is a possibility that some areas within that corridor could see 10+ inches of snow, but it's simply too early to commit to those kinds of numbers when the two main models are still showing different intensities. There's also a potential ice zone from Kansas City through Maryland and Delaware, where freezing rain could cause significant problems Sunday into Monday. Exact amounts and impacts are still very much up in the air, but this is definitely something you need to have on your radar right now. The National Weather Service blend of models paints a similar picture. Over the next couple of days, nothing too dramatic across the Northeast. Maybe a few spots near Watertown, New York, pushing close to a foot. But once we get to the weekend and early next week, the blend is showing a very large area of at least 3 to 6 inches, with the Northeast looking increasingly increasingly likely to get hit with another major winter weather event Sunday into Monday. And there's a genuine chance we see a second significant storm by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. As for temperatures, we're not expecting many more full-blown Arctic blasts over the next week to 10 days. But there will be another cold shot pushing through the Northeast late tonight into tomorrow. Then Saturday and Sunday bring Arctic air back into the Midwest and Great Lakes, though it shouldn't push too far south. The Northeast gets clipped by that cold air late Sunday into Monday, and it looks like it's going to hang around through the first week of March. The groundhog's prediction is really holding up for the Northeast, because that cold air just refuses to leave. But here's the mind-blowing contrast. When this big winter storm is spinning up on Sunday, Oklahoma City could be sitting at 81 degrees, while parts of Iowa are stuck in the 20s. That kind of temperature contrast across such a short distance is exactly what fuels monster storms, and it's exactly why this weekend system has so much potential. The warm air returning during the first week of March is also what's going to set the stage for severe weather to come roaring back. So to sum it all up, we've got multiple rounds of snow coming over the next several days, a potentially significant winter storm this weekend that could bring heavy snow and dangerous ice to a huge swath